executive education programs to professionals, corporates, and individuals. The hope is through the Dubai branch, we hope to catalyze UAE's transition into a knowledge economy. So how do we do that? It's a fairly simple focus. We are looking at three offerings for this market. One is the open enrollment programs, which again mean long duration programs like the general management program. We also plan to launch some short functional programs of possibly 3 days, 5 days, etc. The second offering that we have is corporate learning, where IIMA will deliver fully customized and tailored programs to corporations from this market. And the third part is the research and advisory, where we hope to develop case studies of Middle East-based companies and also engage in some faculty-led research and advisory. Quick few points about the 18 general management program. We have delivered 17 batches until now. Over 300 professionals from the Middle East have participated in all the GMPs until this particular point. GMP 18 specifically is a blended learning program, which means we will have 9 learning modules spread over 22 days or 86 sessions. 12 faculty members from IIMA will be delivering this program, and largely we hope to deliver it only on Fridays and Saturdays so that you all get to work on the weekdays and that does not compromise the learning. Plus, the program will have several standalone as well as integrative learning modules to give you the best experience and help you learn the concepts covered in the management program. So that's a quick introduction about the program. What I will now do is introduce the faculty members. So I'm delighted to introduce and have Professor Shailesh Gandhi, Professor Biju Varke, Professor Sanjay Verma on the call with us. Welcome everyone. I'll quickly introduce each of you with a small paragraph. Professor Shailesh Gandhi is the Dean Programs at IIMA. He's also the Director of IIM Ahmedabad Executive Education Dubai branch. He has designed and delivered several management development programs that cover sectors across banking, insurance, engineering, infrastructure, energy, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and IT. His areas of research include corporate performance, accounting standards, financial reporting, and management planning and control. Welcome, Professor Gandhi.
Thank you.
Professor Varki currently teaches human resource management in graduate, executive development, and doctoral programs. Areas of academic research include strategic human resource management, change management, leadership development, HR architecture of firms, performance management and improvement, and flexible workplaces. Welcome, Professor Biju Varki.
Thank you.
Professor Sanjay Verma teaches information systems, knowledge management, customer relationship management, operations, and marketing in postgraduate, doctoral, and executive education programs. His areas of research include measurement of business performance, knowledge management, e-governance, and scheduling problems. Welcome, Professor Verma.
Thank you. Thank you.
With that, I'd love to hand over this to Professor Shailesh Gandhi. And over to you, Professor Gandhi.
Oh, thank you, Ashwin. And welcome to everyone who has joined this webinar. And at the outset, I hope that you and your family members are keeping safe and healthy in these difficult times. I take this opportunity to introduce the Institute very briefly and what the Institute is doing, what are its achievements over a period of time. The Institute was established in December 1961. So now we are almost close to 60-year-old institution. This institution was the result of the thought process of the great scientist, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. In the first 5-year plan of the country, IITs were established. And Dr. Vikram Sarabhai realized that the country would need management talent very, very quickly when we are developing our own corporate and industry base. And with that thought process, he was instrumental to do all the preliminary activities which were required to set up this institution, which has now become the institution of national importance. In 1961, it was a classical example of public-private partnership. The state government provided us 100 acres of beautiful land. Now it is a part of the Ahmedabad city, and central government provided the financial assistance till the year 2001. and it provided the grants both for capital expenditure as well as revenue expenses. And we availed the government support till 2001. But then from 2001, 2002, IIM Ahmedabad is self-sufficient and is generating its own resources through various activities. We started with the executive education program first. And the reason was twofold, right? Because when we had the partnership with the state and central government, we also had a very active partnership for the initial 6 years from Harvard Business School. And Harvard Business School provided us the faculty, as well as many of the faculties who joined IIM Ahmedabad were deputed to Harvard for either doing their PhD program or undergoing a customized faculty development program specially designed for the institute. The industry and the corporates in India, and in particular in Gujarat, came together to provide a lot of financial support as well as a lot of support for the students' internship, etc. Now, we started with the executive education with two reasons. One, since we had a collaboration with Harvard, we adopted the pedagogy which is known as case-based learning. And there was a need for the development of cases which are India-centric. Yes, initially we had all the cases coming from Harvard, which were of multinational environment, but there was also a need to develop the case material which was India-specific. So that was one objective, that when you start with the executive education program and invite managers at different levels to attend this program, the institute will be able to develop a network where this kind of teaching software can be developed over a period of time. The second objective of starting with the executive education program was to make sure that whenever the long duration programs are launched, the students will need support for their summer internship in a 2-year program, as well as they will need the avenue for final placement. As a result of that, we started with the executive education program. Over a period of time, that is over a period of 60 years, now we have reached a stage where 1/3 of our revenue comes from executive education. We do about 200 programs per year. And in these 200 programs, we have about 5,000 managers being trained in various disciplines, both functional as well as general management skills. That is the growth over a period of time in the executive education domain. We launched our first long duration program, which is popularly known as PGP, Postgraduate Program in Management. That was launched in 1964. And in 1966, the first batch graduated. Then, since ours was, we are not a business school, we are an institute of management, because it was realized by the founders of the institute that management inputs are not necessarily required by only corporates, but management inputs are required across the sectors, be it agriculture, be it services, be it not-for-profit organization, be it government or semi-government organizations. As a result of that, institute also started a specialized program in agriculture. And we offered this concentration package in our 2-year MBA program. And then gradually, this was carved out as a separate program now known as the 2-year MBA program in food and agribusiness management. Obviously, when you are looking for the talent who would teach the potential managers, there was a need to develop the right kind of teaching staff and faculty. Keeping in mind this, in 1971, Institute launched a doctoral program, PhD program. Over a period of time, the Institute strengthened its 3 long duration programs. And then somewhere around 2004-05, the Institute realized that there is a niche segment where people who join the corporates immediately after graduation get stuck in their career progression, and they need some kind of a academic input where they can do a program and then they can look for their career progression. As a result of that thought process, we launched a 1-year program called PGPX, Postgraduate Program in Management for Executives. It's a full-time 11-month program, which is offered since 2006. These are our degree granting programs. All programs are residential, face-to-face on campus. But since there was also a growing demand for the participants to have career progression without leaving their job and probably not seeking the placement immediately after doing the program, but look for career progression within the organization. As a result of that, we also launched a 2-year program called Pgp Epgp, which is offered in an electronic mode. It's a blended learning program spread over 4 semesters. At the beginning and at the end of each semester, the participants are invited on the campus for face-to-face interaction with the faculty, for the face-to-face teaching, and exposing the participants to the case method of learning in a very, very effective manner. We also do 2 corporate social responsibility programs, which are of little longer duration. One is a faculty development program. In this program, we invite the faculty members from different management schools and colleges, where they come and they sharpen their research skills as well as their teaching capabilities. From the request from the Ministry of Defense, the Institute is also running a 24-week program for the armed forces officers. These are the officers who have served the nation as a short commission officer or as a regular officer. And when they are putting down their baton, they look for some kind of training where they can settle down in their civilian life. So this is what we are doing in our education front. We have a strong 102 full-time faculty on the campus, and they are in different disciplines. They are actively engaged not only in the teaching, but research and advisory services. And we have several publications in the reputed international journals, and our research score has been improving over a period of time. We have a large number of organizations where we provide advisory services. Coming back to the achievements of the Institute, we were the first one to be accredited by IQUIS, an European agency, way back in 2007. Since 2007, we have been regularly accredited at the cycle of 5 years. The last accreditation was done in 2019, and we received the accreditation for a period of 5 years. Consistently, we are doing better and better in both national as well as international rankings. The biggest national ranking, called National Institutional Ranking Framework, run by Ministry of Education, we are being ranked 1, and many domestic rankings, IIM Ahmedabad is being ranked 1. When it comes to international ranking like Financial Times London as well as The Economist, all our programs are ranked in top 50 globally. Our executive education program is also being ranked by the Financial Times London as well as QS ranking system, and we are in the range of 50 to top 50 to 100 institution providing executive education. This is in nutshell about the institute's achievements and the other details. I will request now my other 2 colleagues to speak more about GMP 18 and their significant amount of work in the Dubai and Middle East market. So over to Professor Biju.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Professor Shailesh, and welcome to the participants all, and also greetings to my colleagues and Ashwin, who is our spokesperson and representative of IIMA in UAE, located in UAE. My objective is to give you a brief idea about what IIM Ahmedabad does for organizations, particularly focusing on the UAE market. Sanjay would be in a better position to talk specifically about the past offerings of GMP. We don't, as you would have known, that we don't really have a degree granting program outside India. What we do is we are engaged in executive education or post-experience learning in the markets around the world. Okay, some of them would be customized programs for very specific companies, which is open only for representatives of those companies. The other options is that we have been in different countries, including Egypt, where we offer open enrolled long duration programs, which is run by IIMA directly or through an agency, depending on our engagement with the organizations. Likewise, we have been, IIMA traditionally has been engaged with UAE based companies and or GCC based companies for a very long time. But since 2000, I think we have been more active. Post 2000, we have been more active in working with those companies. We primarily work with 4 types of organizations. The first is Indian organizations who have units, branch operations in UAE or other parts of the GCC countries. So essentially, they are Indian organizations, and they, as part of the leadership development interventions, really look at moving, building capability of their subsidiaries, offices, etc. So we have been working, for example, I personally has been working with L&T's hydrocarbon division, which has huge establishments in Bahrain, in Saudi Arabia, and based in Sharjah. So, and there are quite a few other people who have been working in for such programs. Then we also do work for Dubai GCC-based organizations, very specifically, and specifically UAE-based organizations, which can be private sector, promoted by people of different nationalities, and that's a huge establishment with which we are working. So primarily, these organizations are headquarters as one. Professor Sanjay leads the initiative with Landmark Group. Okay, and for many years we have been working with them. That belongs to that category. And the third one is that MNCs, which have divisions in, again, these markets. So it's part of certain global initiatives which we get involved in, and then we do, because of geographical proximity and maybe our own faculty members' understanding of the market, we do offer that. Okay, so though there, it would be one-off with certain organizations. And then typically Dubai government organizations, or Dubai, sorry, again, I use this word, but then it's actually GCC, UAE government organizations. Notable to talk about is our work which has been done with Emirates Airline. A couple of our colleagues were, have been extremely active working with Emirates in terms of executive development. Then a fifth would be actually open enrollment programs on the Geneva of GMP, which we are offering on classroom basis based in UAE, which we have been undergoing since 2004-5. We have been doing that. 17 batches are over, and this the 18th batch which is coming. Again, Professor Sanjay has been associated right from the start in that program. So this would be the executive education offering, which we have attracted a whole set of people in that market. So some of the people have grown in that market. And in addition, a couple of us have involvement with those organizations, including the governments at different levels. For example, my colleague, Professor Saral Mukherjee, who works in the supply chain area, and myself has been exclusively involved in what we call as the Abu Dhabi Dialogue, putting up status papers for Abu Dhabi Dialogue, which was sponsored by the International Organization of Migrations. So some part of, some of the labor reforms which have been coming across these GCC markets has been, we IIMA faculty members have been able to look into these issues, and we have definitely influenced policy making at the interministerial dialogue level. This is something which we are extremely proud about in terms of doing that. And as far as I'm coming is that, look, I sit on the board of a financial institution which has got a subsidiary in this market, which is a fully owned subsidiary in that market, and as supervisory director, I get involved in understanding that market and of this financial institution. I also sit on the board and chair the nomination and remuneration committee, as well as part of the both audit and the risk management and CSR committees of one of the largest hospital chains spread over this market, and has been closely working with the retail format, the pharmaceutical retail format of that organization, the hospitals of that organizations, and for the past couple of years. And we have been, associated with organization by like ETA, ASCON, GE subsidiaries in that market, the financial institutions, etc., in terms of very close working with at the board level, at the CEO, CXO levels, in terms of providing advisory governance support. And we have written cases on few companies in that market. I won't say that, look, in terms of, the case writing and research, we are active, but then over the periods of years, we look forward to really understand these markets and the managerial and leadership challenges faced in that market, so that we can bring those learnings, synthesize those learnings, and transfer back those learnings into the field, into practice, into education programs. In fact, one of the aspects which what it distinguishes IIM Ahmedabad offerings and faculty members is the connect to practice. Okay, we fundamentally believe that, like, management research, management knowledge is actually applied and on the field, and understanding that knowledge would actually have an understanding, inquiring into that knowledge, synthesizing it, developing frameworks suited for various markets is something which we actively look for, and then we refine it, share it through different media, and one of the medias are these executive education programs. It's not that, like, I would say is that if I count on the fingers, at least close to maybe 24 faculty members are in a way at different phases actively involved in it. We have a colleague again who works in transportation area, who has done work with Dubai Metro. Okay, so and some of them would be part of this program, some of them may not be part of the program, but that knowledge base is available with us, and then that definitely benefits the offering of the program. And beyond that, we also look at our presence in this market as gateways to other continents, because IIMA is fairly active, or was fairly active, and now we get into the African subcontinent with, again, similar programs offered in Dubai. We have been working with, the African Leadership Installation Program for Airtel Africa. There has been, some amount of work done in Kenya, Zambia, as well as South Africa. So different colleagues at different places have been working in such markets, and UAE we are looking at as a very big presence in that market. Over a period of time, we have also been, while we actually do such programs and interact, we also interact with a lot of organizational leaders who are participants, their bosses, their colleagues, etc. And all these interactions bring us learnings to understand what works in the market, what are your learning requirements, etc. And that definitely gets into designing the program. In fact, for the past couple of days, all of us were actively involved in terms of identifying, very specifically what are the learning requirements in this area at a very, very generic level. We are doing our own homework in terms of, understanding the market and talking to them, so that the quality of offering would be at the highest level. We also always say that, okay, training is an extremely serious, or management education is an extremely serious activity at IIM Ahmedabad. And an old set of faculty members, maybe close to 50–60% of our faculty members would be actively involved in interacting with organizations, not just in India or UAE, but across the world. But yes, our primary focus will be India and neighboring countries, and to some extent in UAE. But over a period of time, we'll really look forward to strengthen the relationship. And definitely, you people would benefit from attending a program like this. And on the other side, we will also be learning from all of you. In fact, my involvement with 17 such programs have actually made me appreciate the market much better. And now when I am occupying certain other governance level roles in this market, it really helps me to actually advise firms or look at problems in a very, very contextual manner. So that's what I would like to talk about, a larger picture of what we are offering. And definitely, if you have questions, we can take it up at the second stage. Okay. Over to Professor Shailesh.
Sanjay, you may like to share your thoughts.
Yeah, good afternoon, dear friends, and a warm welcome. I am Sanjay Verma. I am faculty in Information Systems area at IIM Ahmedabad. And I have been associated with the General Management Program, if I remember, from batch 2, So I have taught, in a way, 16 batches of AGMP. And coming to Dubai and interacting with the participants has really been a very learning experience for me, as well as something where a lot of exchanges have happened, and I'm very happy that all of us have contributed significantly towards the development of the participants. Now, in this chain of series of programs that we have done, I have realized that people have so much of varied experience that not only they have learned from IIMA faculty, they have learned a lot from amongst themselves also. And I will take this opportunity just to take few names, like, if you take on average in every program, there are around, if you take 40 people also, so that makes around more than 500 people. And so there must be a significant number of organizations, we can say. Now we have had people from Henkel, we had people from Honeywell, we had people from Jalil Distribution, from Emirates, from all kind of banks, Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank, Al Mashd Bank, Maersk Bank, Abu Dhabi Commercial, as I mentioned, yeah. So Al Futain Technologies, we have people, we have attended people from Carrefour, we have had people from Sony, Etisalat, whatever kind of organizations you may think of, we have had people. Of course, majority of them had some roots connected to India, but we have had people from not only Middle East, but very interestingly, I have interacted with participants from Europe also and America also. We have had participants. We have had people who are heading entire Africa region as regional director. So different kind of people have attended these kind of programs. Very, very engaging assignments. They have learned, and there have been people who have attended 3 programs. So they attended general management program, they got excited. Then we also used to have a program on retail management. So the same people came for retail management. Then they came for another program that we launched, supply chain management. So they attended supply chain management also. So we have had such kind of loyalty that we developed. And we had people of the designations of director finance or chief financial officer. We had managing directors of companies. We had general managers. We had some faculty also, very interestingly. We have head of marketing, group CFOs, like we had a group CFO of Binbati group of companies. So basically, people at senior designations, experience ranging from 6 years to 25 years. So that kind of experience has come in. So overall, to say that, when you come to this program, you get experience from different organizations, different industries, different functional areas, different ages, different genders. And therefore, the learning is really immense. You really go out as a different person. So that's what I would like to add. In addition to that, I teach information systems. Earlier, I used to do information systems as well as operations. And in information systems, I basically cover how information technology is changing the world of business, how you can disrupt the industry, how you can transform your entire organization, how you get sustainable competitive advantage. So those are the kind of issues I would deal in this particular module. Thank you. Over to you, Shailesh.
Yeah. So is Ashwin around? Or I think.
Yes, I am around. Yeah.
So Ashwin, there are some questions coming up, so we can take one by one, right?
Absolutely.
And all of us will pitch in, and we will, whatever additional inputs we want to provide, will provide, right? So I think
Sure.
the first question is from Anand, that GMP will not be equivalent to degree program. Will this certification kind of program recognized in GCC or globally? So Anand, yes, you will be receiving a certificate of participation mentioning the nature of the program as well as the duration of the program. And this has been a recognition not only in India, but outside India also. Whenever we have participants coming from different countries, including the participants coming from ITech route or the participants coming from different organizations outside India, this certificate of participation issued by IIM Ahmedabad has been recognized, and many of the participants have derived the career progression over a period of time. Sanjay has been doing programs on the general management in India, and he has done a couple of batches. He can also share what kind of career progression the participants of this program had. Sanjay's many AGMP participants used to write to us, BLP program.
Actually, many times it so happens that in between, when the program is in progress, then only people have got their promotion letters. So they very happily they share that, I got a promotion. Now, just to clarify, if you are considering this program to do a further degree course such as PhD, then certainly, this is not a relevant program. But if you think of recognition of the program, reputation of the program in eyes of your HR people, in eyes of the management, then this is certainly a program that is, worthy of attending. There are two reasons for that, and first one would be the faculty, because the faculty is really very experienced. For example, as of now, I know Biju is on the board of so many companies. He has mentioned he's on board of Bank of Baroda. I have just stepped down after completing my term from Punjab National Bank. So, we all of us have been in very senior positions. We have seen organizations from the top, and the kind of experience, therefore, that comes in is immense. Second is, most of your seniors would also know the pedagogy of IIM Ahmedabad. It is so grilling, it is so, I should say, exciting, it is so involving that you cannot just go away without learning. So organizations appreciate that. Organizations appreciate that if someone has gone through the process of IIM Ahmedabad, the person would have been completely transformed. So therefore, the program has a lot of reputation. That's what I would say, and it would be recognized in the eyes of people.
So there is a related question from anonymous attendee. Is it equivalent to postgraduate diploma? Sorry, no, it's not equivalent to postgraduate diploma. Then there is a question from Rahul. Considering the situation of current construction sector, some major giants have undergone liquidation. Would M&A, post-deal implementation, frameworks for synergy valuation and analysis, measuring value creation in strategic acquisitions be part of the corporate finance module? Or would the finance module be only covering corporate finance at high level? No, Rahul, I think whatever topics you have mentioned would cut across many modules. It is not only the finance. Finance will talk of valuation and M&A related topics, but then other topics which you have mentioned would cut across leadership, would cut across the strategy module, as well as the digitization and digital strategy also would focus some of these areas. As you said, the value creation in strategic acquisitions, right? So it would be cutting across 4 or 5 modules, Rahul.
Shailesh, may I add?
Yeah, sure, please.
Rahul, none of our courses or classes, let me tell you, discuss with the topic at high level. whatever topics we take, the participants say that from where their limit of thinking is ended, IIMA makes them start thinking beyond that. And therefore, topics would be covered, whatever is covered will be in extreme depth, and you will yourself realize that you had not thought of so many dimensions of any topic that we are covering.
Another question from Anand, will we get a chance to interact with alumni of GMP? Certainly. What we plan to do is that whenever we are having a Dubai module, we'll try to have some kind of an interaction session, let's say over high tea or so, where we'll invite some of the alumni. Or maybe as a part of the program, we may invite some of the leading alumni to have a guest session, right? So we'll definitely provide you an option of or opportunity of interacting with the alumni of GMP. Mayur, your question is what are the subjects and topic wise detail? It is already given in the program brochure, but I can briefly mention. It is on economic environment, accounting, costing and control, corporate finance, marketing, operations management, then decision analysis, then you have IT and digitization strategy, you have human resources, leadership, and the performance measurement, and then you have a strategy and likewise. So these are the broad subjects, and in each of the subjects, brief details about the topic is also given in the program brochure. But just to add here, since the program is of general management in nature, it has broadly two types of contents. One is the foundation or functional courses, and the other one is the nature of integrative courses. So this will be the coverage of the entire program. We will have, so there was a question, how many sessions and how many days we have to attend. So every week we are planning 2 days. So when we are doing sessions in Dubai, every day we will have 4 sessions full day. And whenever we are doing online sessions, then we will have 2 sessions per day. And that would be on Friday and Saturday at your convenient time. That is in afternoon, which will start around 2:30. In total, we will have 84 sessions of teaching. And then on the last day, we are having a presentation by the participants where we will give you an integrative case, a case which looks at variety of functional aspects and the decision-making aspects. We will divide the participants into groups, and the groups will do the presentation to the faculty, and faculty will provide the feedback on the quality and the depth of analysis which each group has presented. Then we have a question. I would like to know from Shailesh, I would like to know more about criteria, requirements of completion of the program and certificate of participation. So Shailesh, the requirement is that we would expect that you attend all sessions. Yes, it may happen that on some day, etc., you may have a very, very important work and you are not able to attend. So let's say out of 84 sessions, you may be, let's say if you are not able to attend a couple of sessions, like 4 or 5 sessions, that is all right. But otherwise, we expect that you should attend all the sessions, and not only attend the sessions, since we are doing 4 sessions per week and only 2 days, you have enough time to do class preparation. You will have the access to the groups, and we will create the breakout rooms in our technology, that is Zoom, etc., where you can form your groups and you can have group discussion, share all the ideas, share your case analysis and learning, and likewise, right? So when we meet for the first time, we will briefly do a session on introduction to case method, expectations from the participants, then what are the learning methods when we are doing the class preparation, etc., etc., right? So that is the way in which we would expect the participants to attend and complete the requirements of the certification. So Mayur, what will be weekly hours? As I was telling you, 2 days a week. And when it is an online classes, it would be 2 sessions of 75 minutes each. So 150 minutes per day. So 300 minutes per week online classes. When we are on the campus or in Dubai, it will be 4 sessions, 2 sessions before lunch, 2 sessions after lunch. There is a question from Manoj that if I skip some session because of some reason, if it is an online session, Manoj, we will be recording the session and will be giving you access for, let's say, next 2 days or 3 days after the session is over. So by chance, if you have missed any of these sessions for genuine reasons, you will have access to online sessions. But unfortunately, if it is a part of the face-to-face sessions, probably we may not be able to, yeah, we can share with you the class notes and some part of the class discussion, but recording, we will have to figure out whether face-to-face sessions will be doing recording and will be providing. If possible, we'll do that. But we will urge you that to the extent possible, you attend all the sessions. Anand, again, should we prepare ourselves in advance with some basics before attending the program? No, I don't think so. Our programs do not require any kind of prerequisites. Yes, in terms of prerequisites, you will have, we expect that you will have some skills of using Excel, PowerPoint presentation, and some kind of basic analytical skills. So when you are to, let's say, for example, when we are doing certain ratio analysis or in decision analysis, we have to do some calculation, etc. You are fairly familiar with the basic analytical skills, not a very high level of advanced preparation or prerequisite is required for any of the courses. Our course scheduling is done in such a manner that it goes from one module to the other. So let's say, for example, if corporate finance requires certain inputs from accounting and costing background, we will do accounting and costing session first, followed by the finance. So some of the things which are required for finance course or decision science course or in marketing, some kind of an analysis or in strategy or in information technology, those basic things would be covered first. So everyone is equipped with the required skill, and hence you can be able to do the sessions of finance and other modules with a comfort and the ease. There is a question, is this can be helpful for the health and safety managers? Yes, because see, this program is of a general management in nature, and it will be covering the aspects of variety of functional areas. So if you are talking of safety and health, then there may be requirements of what are the ways in which one can look at safety as a strategy, or health of the organization as well as the people working in the organization, or health as a larger subject. Then what are the prerequisites? How does one strategize? What are the activities or action plans which one needs to do? How do you budget the programs related to safety and health in the organization? How do you measure actual performance with the targeted or budgeted performance? Yes. So as far as general management program is concerned, it is sector agnostic in a sense that whoever is a manager involved in different decision-making situations, irrespective of the sector, has a benefit from this particular program. Anuj, after every course, there may not be any test or exam, but let's say, for example, some of the courses we will give you a small exercise or small assignment to ensure that your learning is continuous and you have been progressing as we expect from the program. So we will be doing some kind of a specific module wise assignment or testing, small, let's say in-class test or a small exercise which you can submit, let's say after working for a couple of hours. Rahul, thank you very much for your kind words. Yes, you have some friends in PGP and you have heard a lot about academic. Yes, we always try to keep up to the expectations of our participants. This program is eligible for IIMA alumni status. As an alumni, do we get access to job boards and any other career resources? Santosh, as of now, the alumni status does not have a job portal. But yes, alumni will have access to some kind of the networking, right? So let's say, for example, when we do not have a formal alumni chapter in Dubai, but yes, let's say since our Dubai branch has come into existence, one of our endeavor is to set up a full-fledged Dubai alumni chapter. So that what happens is that you have a possibility of interacting with the alumni of not only GMP or executive education programs, but you have also the opportunity of interacting and meeting the participants of our long duration programs like 2-year MBA program, 1-year MBA program, our doctoral program, right? Some of our PhD program participants are in the universities in the Middle East. And so you will have a possibility. We are actively now pursuing how do we go about establishing a full-fledged chapter in Dubai and Sharjah. So yes, you will have an opportunity to interact with our alumni.
Professor Gandhi, may I add two
Sure,
more
sure.
points
Please,
here?
please.
So Santosh, apart from the IIMA alumni chapter, there is also a Pan IIM community that is fairly active. And you will see that Pan IIM community usually organizes its events, at least pre-COVID, they would at least do one event per quarter. And it has participation from which cuts across the IIMs and IIT alumni from the entire region. So as an alumnus to the institute, after the GMP, you also get invited to a chapter like this. Two, IIM Ahmedabad also has a social network or a dedicated online platform for the alumni. So you are also connected to the entire global alumni of IIMA through this network. So essentially, when you look at this, there are 3 or 4 different touch points in which you can sort of be a part of the larger alumni network.
Mayur, there is a question about the books and teaching material. Yes, we will be distributing the textbooks wherever the books are prescribed, or the teaching material, which is, let's say, the cases from IIM Ahmedabad, this one case center, or from Harvard or from Ivy or wherever, all program material will be available to you. So that we will be distributing. Typically what happens is that our session plan includes what is the objective of this module, right? Then it talks about the reading, prescribed reading, textbook, etc. Then for every session, it says what is the topic of the session, what is the prescribed reading, what is the source of reading, and what is the case or exercise to be done as a part of this session. So accordingly, we will be giving you the entire course outline in advance. What is to be done on, let's say, such and such date? What is the topic? What is the reading? And what is the case, etc., etc. Right? So yes.
Yeah, Professor Shailesh, can I add?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Again, Sanjay would be in a better position to say that because he's coordinating similar programs in India. We use a learning management system called Moodle. Okay, and a lot of transfer of materials, PDF documents, etc., are through Moodle. And Moodle is a very, very interesting, very versatile academic platform, though it may not look very good, but it's a very interesting platform where participants before the class and after the class do engage in serious discussions. Okay, so you could actually find that like people are raising questions, people are sharing their views, etc., as pre-preparation to the classroom and come into the classroom. So throughout the entire course, you will have access to participants in the the Moodle, which will be a which will be your shared depository. And you would also find it also depends on the batches. So currently I was teaching one batch last week. They found that there is suddenly some response to, say that, okay, there is this website which talks about it. In 2 minutes, somebody had searched out that website and put the link in on Moodle. Okay, which means that, some of this information gets shared and it becomes a straight learning experience, because apart from maybe IIM also and the alumni which you're talking about, one thing which IIM also offers is actually the rich peer group of GMPs. So you also learn a lot from each other. In fact, one of our endeavors to specifically target and reach out to people like you is to create a very, very, what you call, enlightened cohort, so that the learning value multiplies. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Ashutosh, you have a question, any specific selection criteria? So as we have mentioned in the brochure, this program is a general management program for those who are looking for career progression. So our basic requirement will be that you should have been working for at least about 4 to 5 years in any organization. So that is the only criteria. And you may be having a experience in any of the functional areas, right? Maybe supply chain, maybe in the HR or in finance or in accounts, etc. Right? So essentially the objective is, or our eligibility criteria is that yes, you have worked for some time in the organization, you have some idea how organizations work, you have a sense of appreciation of the teamwork, the sense of appreciation of how strategies are being implemented, how the performance is monitored, and how the organizations progress over a period of time. I think if that kind of basic understanding of how the organizations work is there, that's good enough for anyone to come in the learning environment. There are some questions, whether do we get a chance to visit IIMA? At this moment, we are not able to commit because of the COVID situation. Because right now in India, also there are a lot of travel restrictions, and I'm sure the travel restrictions are there in your country. But let's say if the situation improves sometime in February, March, we can think of at that point of time. But as of now, it is very difficult to make any commitment whether we'll be inviting you or, but if you happen to be traveling to India anytime, not only during the program, but even after the program is over, you are most welcome to come visit us and meet the program faculty as per the schedule. So you are most welcome, even if we are not able to have any module on campus as far as this program is concerned. And it is purely because of the current situation. Now, there are some questions about if I have got some PGDM certificate from some non-IIM institute, or why should I do this certification program over degree program offered by Indian other institutes in Dubai like IMT Ghaziabad, SP Jain, and some European institute like HALT. As we rightly mentioned, we are not giving any degree or diploma. So if anyone is looking for a degree or diploma program and the person believes that having degree or diploma program only will help me in my career progression, that's a different thing. Here what we are saying is that yes, you have certain basic degree, you have been working, and you want to look for a competency building in such a manner that these competencies which I acquired through GMP 18 would help me to bridge the gap which is required for the higher position and the competencies which I have. So I look at this as a value addition in the career progression, but not the stage where you say this is prerequisite for me to have entry into a specific career. It's not for entry into a specific career, right? It is more on career progression. How do I sharpen my skills? How do I go back to the classroom and learn the status of the variety of things, contemporary subjects, what is happening in the field of management in different disciplines? I think that is the objective of this particular program.
Professors, before we move ahead, we've got some more questions to go and possibly only a minute left until 1. I hope you're okay to extend this by maybe a few minutes.
Yeah, sure. Okay, there are questions. Will we have access to IIMA journals, publications as alumni? Yes. Will there be a capstone project at the end of the session? Yes. We are going, as I told you, capstone project will be in terms of a very large integrated case where participants would do the preparation in a group, and then they will make the presentation. This would be a capstone exercise. Manish, unfortunately, we do not have any financial assistance either in the form of scholarship or assistantship. Sanuj, how this program will help a sales or a business development professional having 10+ years experience? I think, see, when you are working in a domain for a longer period of time, then you also look for occupying a general management position or a domain head. I believe, and I'm sure my colleagues also believe, that when you become a general manager, functional skills or domain skills in your respective domain is required, but that is not too critical. What is critical is your leadership qualities, your leadership capabilities. How do you manage your teams? How do you help your team to manage the environment, external environment, internal environment? And how do you develop a sense of the totality that I'm working in a particular domain, but how my domain is integrated with the organization at large, and how the performance or the achievements of my domain helps in achievement of KPIs or the organizational goals. I think that is the advantage of doing a general management program when you have put in certain experience in a specific domain. It helps you to appreciate the general management skills and what the other disciplines or domains bring in the improvement of the organizational performance. Then if during my work experience, education qualification, I received limited or no exposure or knowledge of some of the topics, how do I prepare, actively contribute to group? See, it does not matter whether, let's say for example, I am an engineer working in, let's say, a manufacturing or sales domain. Obviously, I will not have any knowledge about accounting or finance or let's say HR, etc. See, the way in which our delivery happens is through a case where you read what are your enablers to get exposure or knowledge or skills in other domains. There are many enablers. One, reading material, your own case analysis done by your participants, your fellow participants, case discussion in the class, the questions being asked by the instructor and taking you through the entire nuances of the situation of the case, and then helping you to integrate and reflect at the end of every session, at the end of every module, and finally at the end of the program. When we do the first session on introduction to case method, we'll introduce the concept of what we call learning diary and decision diary. So what is a decision sheet? How do you prepare for every case? Collection of various decision sheets for a module will become a learning diary. How do you keep on learning and doing value addition as you move in the program? I think Ashwin okay, there is one more question. Duration, Mayur has already mentioned, it begins on 11th December and probably I think the last day is about 8th May. So yeah, almost about 6 months, right? Almost 6 months. If the experience required is only 4 to 5 years to attend the program, how will learn more from peer group? No, Sanuj, you didn't get the point. We are saying this is what we would expect the participant to have. But that does not mean, and as Sanjay already mentioned, we have got 500 alumni over such a long period. In every program, let's say, suppose there are 40 participants. Average age, let's say experience is about 8 years, average experience I'm talking about. Then 8 into 40, there is 320 experience years in the class. So when you interact with your groups, when you interact with your fellow participants, you can see what kind of insights they will provide with respect to their domain skills and how those insights will help you to develop and sharpen your understanding of the other domains and other modules. I think that is the learning and that is the enablers.
Actually, this is the eligibility. Usually people come on average, we have in a class around 10 to 12 years of experience.
Correct.
One more thing is that, like, we also would also like to refute this thing by telling intergeneration or a multi different age brackets actually adds to the learning effectiveness, because perspectives can be very different. How possibly a person with 15-20 years looks at things, and how a young person with 4-5 years looks at the same problem can be very different. How people from different backgrounds, academic backgrounds. So the diversity of the classroom is also extremely valuable in terms of learning. And that is something which IIMA really looks forward to bring it. We may not be very fully successful to bring such a peer group into the class because of various other reasons, but we actively try to bring that.
Superb. I think thank you so much, faculty members, and thank you so much everyone for being on the call today. My email ID is mentioned on IIMA's website. So the website is www.iima.ae. This is the microsite specifically for the Dubai branch. You'll find my phone number, you'll find my email ID. Feel free to reach out to me if you have more questions.
And again, we will also encourage participants, if you have any questions to the program chairs, myself, Sanjay or Biju, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to give you more insights if you need, etc.
Sure. Professors, before we close, one final question from Sanuj. Will there be any preference for GMP candidates if you plan to do ePGP from IIMA in the future? So I think Professor Verma, this is your program.
Okay, so let me answer with all honesty. On paper, no. But I'm sure that if you attend this program, your capabilities and competencies will be such that, leave alone IIM Ahmedabad's ePGP, no program should reject you unless there is some other reason. For example, your age, I don't know, your age, or if you don't fit eligibility, that's a different thing. In your understanding and maturity, you will be a totally different kind of person. So no one should reject you otherwise. But on paper, there is no extra marks for attending GM.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. It has been a pleasure interacting with all of you. Thank you so much, faculty, for being on the call.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Joshi. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so good. So,
Professor Verki, can we possibly do this over a separate Zoom call? I'll share a separate link.
Yeah.
So, do you want to do it today, or shall we do it?
Let's then connect maybe another day.
Yeah. Okay. So we will get in touch with you, Ashwin. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.